I'm not really one to make predictions, but there is something I can see unfolding that will continue to unfold in 2021. So I kind of want to record this as well to have it on record so I can look back and see, was I absolutely way off, or was there a degree or a lot of truth in it? I don't know, or how it unfolded. So what I see happening in 2021 regards spirituality is I think will be a big thing. And what I mean by that is I think that what I call junk spirituality, I think is going to suffer in 2021, which I'm delighted about. It couldn't happen sooner. I've wanted to see it for fucking 20 years. So, as you know, I have zero tolerance for fluffy spirituality. But in the last couple of days, I did have a look. You know, I had a look on Instagram and I had a look on Twitter of spiritual accounts. Usually people who have kind of mystic names like Mystic Goddess or Egyptian symbols in their names, and photographs of them gazing up, you know, contemplatively into the sunshine, or looking at a pyramid, or you know, lots of this absolute utter bollocks. I have no tolerance for this stuff at all, unless I feel a force behind that person. If they are providing value, instruction, meat, well, then I'm interested. And a lot of these accounts are not providing any of that. They're very lightweight and I would say very indulgent, very egotistical. So as I say this, I'm watching myself as well. And as I looked through these accounts, I'm observing myself like, ooh, am I jealous? Usually I am. I'm jealous of their numbers. I'm jealous that they have a big following, success. So I'm watching my own ego reacting to that. But also what I would see, which I kind of find disappointing, is that the tweets or the posts that get huge likes or retweets or followers or whatever it may be are usually totally vacuous. There's nothing in them. You know, it's quotes or lines about, 2021 I will move away from toxicity and into my bliss. I'm thinking, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I would love to sit down with these people. I'd love to challenge them. I'd love to ask directly. I did get blocked by a few people over the last few days on Twitter because I questioned the nonsense. And often they're selling quite vacuous products, stuff that I certainly would not. I was actually curious at giving money to see what the fuck are they selling? Like, what is this stuff? What I've boiled it down to is that people are in pain, right? And they're struggling and have been for the last few years, especially with their own shadow, their own inner pain and turmoil. That's what 2020 was for, say, Black Lives Matter or these protests. It's nothing to do with black people. It's nothing to do with empowering people. The purpose of this stuff is for people who can't hold and integrate their own trauma. So they point the finger at other people. They'll point the finger at white people or men or, you know, the patriarchy or Donald Trump or racist or whatever, whoever the fuck it is. It doesn't really matter. It's their own trauma. It's their own stuff. It's not about helping black people or white people or young people or women. It's about blame. Just the same as the whole equality movement or socialist movement. It's not about empowering poor people. It's about tearing down wealthy people or rich people. It's envy. If you can step back and observe any of these groups or movements, ultimately that's what you will see underneath. Angry people who are trying to express or ease their own turmoil or pain. So moving on from that, if we look at this modern junk spirituality movement, it's the same thing. The ego takes on many forms to try to feel better or feel good. So if we regurgitate nonsensical spiritual quotes or, you know, dress ourselves up in gowns, photographs of me on the pyramid, like we're portraying ourselves as some sort of indulgent fucking guru. It's nonsense. But the world are buying it in their droves. You know, I used to say years ago, I got interested in, and I still am, and I'm still very interested in anarchy and free market economics. Basically, anarchy, the Latin translation of anarchy basically means no rulers. That's all it means. It doesn't mean no rules. I'm totally in favour of rules. I'm not in favour of being ruled. I'm a grown man. I don't need someone to tell me what to do. Anarchy does not mean chaos. It does not mean violence. It does not have anything to do with any of these things. Free market economics simply as well means that poor people choose how to spend their money rather than the government or politicians coming in to take it off them and spend it for them. Totally in favour of that. Let people keep their money, especially poor people. Leave them alone. Don't be taking money off them. But the public's attraction to politicians is that they need to be told what to do. People want to be saved. They want to be helped. They want to be comfortable. Oh, he'll do it. He'll look after me. But it's the same with junk spirituality. And in both cases, it entails people not actually taking responsibility for their own lives and not having to do any work on themselves. No, like it all entails work. We need to do the groundwork, not just fucking regurgitate nonsense. There is a market for bullshit spirituality. And what I was going to say was that years ago, when I discovered Anarchy, part of me kind of thought I should have went into politics. I know how to bullshit these people. I don't mean the politicians, I mean the public. I know what to tell them. I didn't have the conscience to do it. But, I can stand on a podium and tell you, I'm going to tax the rich. I'm going to stop the racist white people. Will more money for all of you. Yeah. And they'll all clap and they'll all vote. It's kind of easy to fucking lead people because people, they just want to be told nice things. So it's the same with junk spirituality. Tell people stupid things that make them feel good. They'll buy your book. They'll subscribe to your channel. They'll buy your products. It's an easy fix. I'm quite the opposite of that. I'm probably too far. I tell people your life is going to fall apart, or you're a fucking idiot. You're not doing any work. That doesn't sell books. Not that I have a book at the moment, but that doesn't get donations. It doesn't make money. I'm a little too blunt. But I'm okay with that. I love me. And I know at times how beneficial that can be for myself and for people I've worked with. As you look through the accounts that you follow or the quotes that you read, and this goes for my account as well. I have quotes on my stories on Instagram. As you read these quotes, feel your own instinct and discernment. Does this give me value? Is there an insight in this? Am I learning something here? And if there is, fucking donate money. That's your way of saying thanks, or share the video, or give it a thumbs up, whatever it may be, or comment. But for me or for other people, if you're not getting value from my work or from other people's work, I think 2021 is the year that people will start to step away from this stuff. I'm beginning to see more and more people who are realizing how vacuous junk spirituality is. Buy more crystals, buy more tarot decks, burn more incense. If you're suicidal, a fucking tarot deck is not going to save you, or a crystal, or burning fucking incense. If you're depressed, if your marriage is on the rocks, if you've lost your job because of fucking corona or lockdowns, whatever it may be, these things ain't gonna help. Cutting fucking toxic people out of your life will not help you. And I know these people. I mean the people struggling. I know them who've lost jobs because of lockdowns, who've no fucking income, struggling to pay the mortgage, or marriages in trouble or struggling. Junk quotes and airbrushed photographs of someone in a fucking robe is not going to save you. And I think we're approaching more and more, thankfully, a time that more and more people are seeing this and realizing these accounts are useless. They're, in a sense, and I use this word consciously, they are parasitical. They are parasites. They're earning and hoovering up money from people who are desperate and who are looking to feel better, who don't know any better. But what I think is more questionable than that is they're hoovering up your energy. I recorded a video about a year ago about sirens. and energetic sirens on the likes of Instagram. These girls in their bikinis, their yoga pants or whatever, and they've millions of followers, and all the men want to sleep with her, and all the women want to be her, or they want that lifestyle. Now, if you take that blueprint to spirituality, I know right now these accounts. Maybe you follow some of them. Maybe some of them say things that are interesting. I'm not naming any names. And there are some people who are genuine and who are giving value. I don't follow most of these accounts at all. Very, very few. I just follow my own path or my own instinct. So I'm not knocking some of them, but I don't want to name names, but there are many that are smaller accounts in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, who are just selling bullshit products, or worse. It's an energetic hoover. So I saw this many times now in ayahuasca, that and you've heard people of terminating contracts, cutting cords, energetic cords. You go onto these accounts and you see this person's face, or you see their quote or whatever it is that they're selling or whatever. Imagine you're just looking at a vacuum, and that vacuum has maybe 100,000 eyeballs or 1 million eyeballs. All these people come on, all the men and all the women, and they look at it and they gaze at it for a few minutes, and maybe they share it with friends, or they like it, or they comment, or whatever it is. Energy, energy, time. This vacuum is sucking up your energy. These people are asleep. They go on, they're asleep, they're fucking sleepwalking, daydreaming. They go on and they look at it and they like it and they comment it and they put it on their own page and they save it, or they've sent it to a friend. They're asleep. 30 seconds later, they've forgotten about whatever shit it was they saw or they read, or they don't know, they don't care. They're gone. Don't be that person. Use your instinct. Discern and feel, who is this person? What is this frequency? And that goes for me. If you feel that with my account, now I don't mean being challenged. For me, that's work. If you're pissed off by something you read or see on my account, that's cool. I'm all right with that. That's your work. You're being shook awake. But if you feel that you're losing energy to me or to any other being, well, then it's time to fucking end those contracts. Terminate that feeding. Take your power back. So I'm not afraid that if I go to these accounts that I'm going to be fed upon. I'm too aware at this stage to allow that to happen. I can look at these entities and beings and not relinquish my power, my energy. I communicate with them. I don't see them as evil or bad or any of that stuff. They're just fucking doing what they're doing. They're from a human level, they're trying to make money. If we're stupid enough to give it to them, cool. They're not doing anything wrong. Energetically, there are entities that want to feed. They're hungry. If we're stupid enough to feed them, they're going to fucking take the food. They're not doing anything wrong either. It's our responsibility to be conscious. So that's what I think we'll see. And I have been tempted, on Instagram and for a podcast, to screenshot some of these quotes and faces and to discuss them. If people are interested, let me know. I had thought as well that it might just be too negative. It's too destructive. It's tearing down other people's accounts and so on. Not that I have any influence. I mean, fucking 20 people listen to this podcast, so it's not like I'm going to fucking change the world or put these people out of business. Not by a long way. But by reading them, you'll see that, ponder the quote that you read. There's a lot of it on Twitter. It's more image based on Instagram. They all have their makeup on, they have their crystals, they have their fucking robe, they have but it's bullshit. It's an image. It's window dressing. It's a costume. It's not real. What's behind it? I want meat. What are you selling me? What are you asking for? What's your technique? How do you work? What are your results? That's what I want to hear. Not if you're successful and wealthy. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to see, are you authentic? Are you plugged in? Do you know who you are? How do you work through pain? Do you escape? Do you go drinking? Do you run? Do you try to get more followers? Do you try to get more dopamine? That's what I'm interested in. So as you read these quotes or these pictures or these articles or whatever, settle. Center yourself. Move into your own stomach and core and think, do I want to be a part of this? does this resonate with me? Am I gaining anything from this? Am I learning something here? Does this empower me? Does this give me some clarity? And a lot of these statements, like Obama when he ran, hope, change, it's fucking meaningless. Hope? Hope what? Change? Those two words mean something different to every single person that read them. And a lot of this generic junk spirituality is the same thing. It's meaningless. If you step back and you read it a few times, you don't know, what the fuck does that mean? It's not direct. It's not clear. There's no action in it. Now, I'm purposely not giving examples because I don't want to fucking name some of these people and I don't want to read their stuff out. But go to your core, go to your stomach, your instinct, and see what you feel. And look at their faces. You know, as I talked about in the siren video, look at these faces and just see what's going on here. Are they conscious? Is there something else working through them that's feeding from people's money or people's energy? And then you're conscious. Then you might still think, yeah, still want to follow them. I like what they post, or I like their pictures. Cool. At least you're making an informed decision. I'm not saying run from these things, but it's interesting to see how many brainwashed, asleep, spiritual people are following these accounts. And these are the very people who think they're awake. These are the very people who are posting and talking about how asleep the world is, that they need ascension, that they can't wait for the world to wake up because they're awake and no one else is. Isn't that interesting? They're following people who are fucking robots, who are automatons, who are vacuums that hoover up energy and money. Anyway, I'm done. So let's see how that unfolds for 2021. Same shit. There's some links below. If you feel moved to donate, please do. And if you don't. If you learned something or gained some insight from this video, please share it with other people. And be well. Keep going.